Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for our Luminaria Ceremony today. This is an opportunity for us all to come together and remember why we're really here at Relay tonight.
This is a time for us to grieve those we've lost. It is a time for us to reflect on how the disease has touched each of us personally, and it is time for us to look inside ourselves with quiet reflection and hope.
Our Luminaria Ceremony aims to honor the memory of loved ones who we have lost to cancer. The courage of their fight to challenge the darkness has inspired all who walked their journey with them. The memory of their light, their strength, their determination, their hope, and their optimism sustains us.
We all come here tonight with a story of remembrance, with memories of a personal battle or that of a loved one against a disease that takes too much from too many. These memories are powerful weapons as they have brought us here tonight not only with the desire to remember, but with the desire to find hope.
Hope is found when a newly diagnosed cancer patient calls the American Cancer Society's 1-800 number for support and information and finds a friendly voice determined to help.
Hope is found when a volunteer pulls into the driveway of a treatment facility to help a cancer patient receive their life-saving treatment as part of the Society's Road to Recovery program.
Hope is found in the eyes of a caregiver who no longer has the burden of paying for a place to stay while their loved one receives treatment thanks to the Society's more than 30 Hope Lodges across the country, one of which is right here in Boston.
Your support of the Relay for Life movement and the American Cancer Society is creating hope and saving lives faster. Whether your Luminaria story is in honor or in memory of someone, please take pride in the fact that it is created with the light of hope. Thank you.
At this time, please welcome Brian Ocock to share his story.
Hello, my name is Brian Ocock. I'm a teacher at Masconomet, many of you know that, and it's an honor for me to share my experience with having lost somebody to cancer now 7 years ago. And this is a speech that I wrote and read for the Relay for Life 2 years ago. I'm happy to give it again. Life and death. Everything will be fine. On October 1st, 2002, I awoke up in the middle of the night to find, without warning, that life had changed drastically. At about 3 a.m., I heard Mary Beth, my wife, next to me, let out a muffled groan and fall to the floor off her side of the bed. I turned on the light and found her with eyes rolled back, open-mouthed, and unresponsive to my voice. I had no idea what was taking place, as I had never witnessed a total seizure before. With a great rush of adrenaline, I struggled to lift her to the bed while saying her name to get a response, and all the while praying, "God, help me right now." No response except her heavy breathing. Still wide-eyed and struggling to comprehend, I wondered if this was something cardiac or even otherworldly. The last thing I suspected was cancer, the dreaded enemy. It took me a minute or so to reach the conclusion that I had to call 911, perpetually reminding myself with hope that she would awaken and be fine. I also kept thinking that if I called 911 and she was fine, would she appreciate finding a team of responders in her bedroom within a few minutes, seeing her in pajamas and being unpresentable? You see, the hope was there even then. I believe it's always there for most of us. Everything will be fine. That is what hope is. Everything will be fine. The scene quickly changed to an ER at Winchester Hospital, where I was trying to explain to the team what had taken place at home. Mary Beth was conscious but not quite with it, when all of a sudden she manifested another seizure. With that, she was given a CAT scan, which revealed a blob about the size of a golf ball in her right front brain lobe. 3 days later, it was removed at Mass General Hospital, and we were all in shock to suddenly see a fit, active young mother of 42 years, now with a half head shaved and bandaged, staring at us from an intensive care hospital bed. Everything will be fine. We still had hope. The surgeon got it all. A week and a half later, we were back at Mass General for a post-op checkup, and the diagnosis was finally given, the C word. Cancer. More accurately, anaplastic oligodendroglioma, a brain tumor, stage 3. Chemotherapy prescribed for a year. Everything will be fine. We still had hope. After all, stage 3 is not stage 4. Chemotherapy provided the usual sickness and discomfort we are all too familiar with. along with hair loss and creative ways to wear scarves. To Mary Beth's credit, strength, and courage, she continued to homeschool our 3 children, which was a lifelong labor of love that reached completion with our youngest before she died. Everything seemed fine for 8 years. We thought we beat it. Checkups became less frequent, and the rejoicing in a clean picture felt good after each visit. I need to insert here that in reality, everything was fine in the sense that we had life, and our life was abundant. We were surrounded by an incredible church community, as well as local community that loved us and gave us meals, rides for kids to piano lessons and classes, church events, and play dates for a year that because Mary Beth was not allowed to drive because of having had a seizure. Family came to the fore, life continued on. At first, there had been a great dread and a heaviness about what this life change was and how to deal with it. I have to thank God for this inspiration that came, I believe from Him. We all have X number of days assigned to us. Therefore, I can't waste these days mourning. I can't give in to self-pity. I can't fall apart. I have to love and provide for my wife and our children. Yes, I can mourn, but in perspective, I needed to make the days count. Each day was a gift to be an agent of love, and in that was purpose. Please be aware that I was hardly perfect at this charge. In fact, not every day was love-filled on my part, but I had help, both from above and from others, community, family, and faith. Everything will be fine. In fact, everything was fine for 8 years. We had 8 years of life, love, fights, peace, joys, sorrows, all of it. Life. The fear of the dread had always lurked in the back of our minds with every looming checkup, however. Then one day a little shadow crept into the MRI image. It was a mist in appearance across the same area of Mary Beth's brain. This time Mary Beth was prescribed radiation treatment, actually a far less strenuous regimen of treatment than chemotherapy. Again, everything will be fine. And everything was fine. A few new scarves to cover hair loss, not a lot of fatigue. Life continued. We got 2 more years of life. Still, every day counted. Days of life are not to be wasted. We still had community and loving support. The next 1.5 years were vigilant years. We knew cancer wasn't a one-time visitor now. In fact, we were watching a shadow carefully on Mary Beth's MRIs. The shadow began to grow like shadows do at the end of a day. Our next option was a clinical trial, which we signed up for. This was like chemo again, and the term had no defined end in sight this time. The trial drug appeared to stem the tide, but eventually the cancer started to grow again. On this trial study, once the cancer starts to grow, the patient has to quit. We realized that the end was coming. In fact, the symptoms of the cancer were now cognitive decline and a gradual evaporation of personality. We had been fighting the enemy for 12 years. 12 years. 12 years of life put into perspective by our enemy, cancer. Our enemy is actually death, and always will be, but we learned that even death could not stop love. Everything will be all right. Everything is going to be fine. But how was I to take care of her in her ultimate decline? How was I supposed to take care of my kids, the youngest being 18 now? Again, our community and our faith came to the fore. People signed up to sit and care for my wife as we eventually instituted home visiting nursing care and finally hospice at home. Friends, family, church, my work community, and my students all had a part in ministering to our need. Everything was going to be fine. Our society has made strides in medical discoveries to date, and as a result, we had 12 years of life we otherwise would not have had. My family and I were blessed. Was every day easy? Hardly. Was there dread and fear of the ultimate end in us? Yeah. I realized that as the end came for Mary Beth, that it comes to us all. We have a short assignment here on earth, and that assignment is meaningless without love, community, and yes, I'm going to say it unashamedly, God. Every day was a worthwhile day. It was a gift. Jenny Beakley, a colleague teacher here at Masconomet, recently addressed the graduating class at a baccalaureate ceremony, saying that It is your relationships with others that will carry you through. It means showing up for others and then asking them to show up for us when we need it. When we do this, we lead lives that are meaningful. The community showed me and my family the face of a good, good God, and I am forever grateful for the experience of that love, and that I will enjoy it for eternity after our short dalliance here on earth. Cancer may be a C word, but another C word is also comfort. I have known both these words intimately, and because I have experienced love through them both, I can say, everything will be fine. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, Brian. We all have our own stories that hold great meaning to us all. Each glow stick reflects the fight of our loved ones and their eternal light that remains within us. It reflects our personal fights, the fights of our parents, our siblings, our partners, grandparents, children, uncles, cousins, friends, neighbors, coaches, and teachers. It reflects the ways in which we are all affected by cancer and the light of hope that remains within us forever.
We may all have our own unique reasons to participate in Relay, but we also share so much in common. We are all here tonight to honor the journey of those we love. The light of our glow bracelets represents their continued fight. We carry it here tonight in their honor.